The Eurobike tech is still coming in thick and fast. I've been amazed by how much triathlon tech we've found out here. So I'm going to treat you to a third video from Eurobike. Here we go. Right, let's talk aero bars. Quite excited about this one because I get questions all the time about clip-on aero bars onto road bike handlebars, specifically aero handlebars, and how you do that. Well, Deda seems to think they've come up with a solution. It's painted, it's called the TT314. So as you can see here, I've got these standard sort of clip-on aero bars, riser stack below, then a mounting system onto these aero handlebars. And interestingly, if you go online, apparently they have different options for different aero handlebars. They'll specify which brands and handlebars, so you can change out and basically buy whichever you need. Then on top of that, they've got differing heights of riser stacks. So they've got 60, 80, 100, 120, plus then a 30-degree angle and extra space so you can change that angle. Obviously, you can change the aero bars on top of that. So we've also got their Fast Pro aero bars here. We've also got some really cool new aero bars just released over here. So this is their Jet Hydro. It's quite a chunky design. This is hydro formed in Italy. Basically, they use the pressure of water to get the shape of the aluminium. They've got two different sizes. So this is the small, they've got a medium, slightly longer. And then they've got differing options. Basically, the end parts swap out. It's kind of like a modular design. So this one is for Shimano SRAM Campagnolo. And then you've got the Shimano satellite shifters for this one. And then we got the SRAM blips for this one. And we've also got them equipped onto the brand new Van Rysel TT bike just here. I swung by the Fast Forward stand because we've got a brand new disc wheel launching in the coming weeks. It's called the Falcon RS. They've updated their disc wheel from the previous disc wheel they launched at Eurobike last year, which was called the Falcon. In that wheel, they actually managed to reduce the weight on the wheel through a aerospace technology in terms of the foam to give it strength. They've gone one step further with this RS. They've actually used that same foam, that aerospace technology, but they've actually changed the carbon layup, the bonding, and also the amount of clear coat used to reduce the weight further. So the previous wheel weighed around 1,040 grams. This one is just under 900 grams, so quite a big saving. As I say, it's launching in the coming weeks and then will be available from sort of late August onwards for purchase. All right, we're getting very sciencey in today's tech tour. We have got a brand new product from Tymewear, and it's a heart rate and breathing sensor. It's actually been used by the Visma Bike team, and it's literally landing right now. It started pre-sale in March, but pretty much becoming available as of now. It's on a heart rate strap. It's very simple, but has this extra monitor here. I'm not an exercise physiologist. I'm actually going to hand over to the expert here. It's Arnaut, who is the man behind all of this. So can you tell me a little bit more about this product?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we have here on the front is kind of your standard heart rate monitor, single lead ECG. And on the back, this is really what we're developing, which is a breathing sensor. So it's measuring the air going in and out of the lungs, so breathing rate, tidal volume, and minute ventilation. It's a very accurate sensor. So for example, by comparison, our breath detection compared to a metabolic cart face mask device, 99.6% as accurate on bike and run. And what it does is it measures the expansion and contraction of the chest cavity, looking at the airflow in and out of the lungs. And what makes that really interesting is that it allows us to analyze the ventilation or the breathing signal during exercise, during a ramp test, to determine what are known as ventilatory thresholds. This is really fundamentally what defines your training zones. And by exposing where they are, we can really get a lot of information about what kind of training is appropriate, where do I have low-hanging fruit to improve, where am I going to be likely to see diminishing returns, why am I not improving in certain areas. So you pair it with our app. We also have a Garmin IQ data field, so you can easily use it without the app as well. But with the app, we measure this fitness profile, and based on that, we provide a recommendation. If you are lacking in base endurance, that is exposed. And so we then start to recommend a training distribution that leans more heavily towards base endurance with workout recommendations in line with that. And it kind of ebbs and flows as your fitness progresses and changes throughout the training cycle and cycles.
Presumably, is there some sort of like fitness test that you would perform to get really accurate data from?
Yeah, so we recommend doing a 20-minute ramp test. That allows us to go from a high intensity to a low intensity, and we can then measure how your ventilation responds to the changing intensity. And that response is going to be very unique for every single person, exposing where these individualized training zones actually are.
And how much for the product then? Because it's quite a small product. How much will you pick it up for?
So we're selling it for $299. That includes the live data, so real-time heart rate, breathing rate, tidal volume, minute ventilation. And it also includes the individualized zones. So you can always make sure that your training is at least at the right intensities when you're going about your training. Then we also have a $150 a year pro membership. That includes training recommendations, training distributions. Once you have your profile, what is best for me to do in order to leverage my weaknesses and improve them and continue to make good progress.
Brilliant. I mean, it sounds like something I need, to be honest. So yeah, very excited to see how it develops. Well done. Nice one. We also have a couple of new wheels from Black Ink, which is the wheel brand of Factor. They released their tri-spoke a couple of years ago, and now they've updated that tri-spoke. So previously it was a more angular design, and now it's got this kind of more curved and aesthetically pleasing looking design. It is, of course, more aerodynamic and faster. They have also released a slightly deeper section wheel. So here I've got the 48 and 58 wheel set here. They've also released a 62, which they released in conjunction with their new Factor Slick tri-bike. So you can have a deeper section wheel on your triathlon bike. Well, I stumbled across Currex, a brand we have featured before because they make running insoles, but also insoles for all sorts of different sports, including cycling. So we actually got their bike insoles here, as well as their run ones. They're kind of market leaders in this area. Now, the idea is they're trying to provide insoles for different foot profiles, shapes, and gaits for running. Of course, as I say, they make them for all different sports because different sports require different demands. So the running one has a bit of a deeper heel to it. It's got a little bit more cushioning in places and obviously a little bit different support than you would require on the bike. Obviously the bike one is much stiffer than the run one. But in terms of actually getting yourself fitted up for one of these, obviously you could pop into a store and they'd sort this for you. So they'd look at your foot profile, how high your arch is or how low your arch is, the angle of your knees, so the gait of your legs, and then they'd select the right insole for you. But interestingly, I'm just chatting to them, you can actually do this online as well, and you can use their AI tool by taking a little quick scan of your foot, input of information, and then it will tell you which insole you need. But very clever, and probably something I could do with myself. Okay, another device that I've had a bit of experience with. This is the Moxy muscle oxygen monitor. I actually used this when I went to altitude in Tenerife and saw my muscle oxygen saturation drop off a cliff significantly. But yeah, we've seen a lot of the big name pros using these devices, such as Christian Blumenfeld behind me. But they've made some pretty significant updates to kind of the software, making it more intuitive and accessible for your everyday users. One in particular I wanted to show you guys today is this on the iPad. It's called their breakpoint analysis. So they've been working closely with a new training software called Intervals. And basically by inputting this data from Moxy, you very quickly can get your zone 2, your threshold points by just simply doing a step test. And you can do this multiple times per week and get very, very accurate data. Basically the power at those points that the muscle oxygen saturation has dropped off, and it will tell you to the point where that has happened, rather than kind of the guesswork of maybe doing a traditional FTP test. But yeah, just to recap, these devices will go on to your leg, onto the muscles. They've actually built them into things like shorts here. I say we've seen the likes of Christian Blumenfeld with these shoved under his suit in various places, on his bum, on his quads. But yeah, very impressive bit of kit. I've just been geeking out here on the Dynamics stand at their hot wax station. So we've got the cleaning device here, then we've got the kind of hot waxing crock pots here. And I've been loving hearing about Matthew van der Poel's hot wax setup. So they sponsor the Bora Hansgrohe team, the Alpecin team. They've actually got Matthew van der Poel's bike over there. And apparently they use in their team a mix of their endurance blend, which is the Wonder Wax. So he goes for 2 blocks of that, and then 1 block of the Hyper Wax, which is their kind of race wax. just for stages where obviously the length of those stages to get the endurance of that chain and keep the chain performing over time. Yeah, and what's also cool is by them working with those teams, they're continually developing products for the teams, working closely with them. Apparently there's a lot of products to come, including some specific to TT triathlon racing, so watch this space. Right, that is Eurobike 2025 done and dusted here in Germany. It has been absolutely amazing for Triathlon Tech. I've been blown away. If you haven't watched our first and second videos from Eurobike, please do go check them out. And then let us know which is your favourite tech from this whole couple of days here. Wow, it's been a long couple of days, so much tech. Yeah, let us know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed these videos, please do give them a thumbs up, give them a like. See you next time.